I'm convinced we're the most cursed team in professional sports.
You guys are bad.
I've been saying this hot take for a long time, and I'm sticking to it. My hot take is that Will McDonald's going to hit 15 sacks.
No member of the New York Jets' Week 1 offensive line will miss a game all year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! So get ready to rumble!
Rumble!
I just want to know where you found it. That's the thing. I wouldn't have been able to find it, and I own the goddamn library of video.
Oh, dude. Hey, welcome, Chaos. Welcome, chat. Already starting there. Dude, Chaos. In the Zone, episode 256. We are here to help you guys end your weekend with the Jets news and notes of the week, man. Chaos, how has your week been?
My week has been all right. It's been pretty, busy getting the new year started, working and doing all that stuff and watching great football. I'll tell you that. The last few days have been just some amazing football.
Dude, all of them, even the one that had the Carolina Panthers in it was good.
Yeah, man. They played really well.
They really did, man. They and you could tell, the experience difference with the Rams and the Panthers, but all in all, great game. Great game last night. Great games today. There's a great game on now, right?
Yeah. Hey, is there a lesson to be learned from Carolina that maybe sometimes we shouldn't rush to judge a quarterback too soon? Because this kid Young, it took to year 3, but man, he's looking pretty good.
Agreed. And I do think that there is a lesson. Had he had his rookie year here, I can only imagine what this fan base would have done to him that first year and a half, man. The kid was even cooked down in Carolina, and he was resilient, man. And he made a Pro Bowl this year.
I mean, the pass he threw, one of the passes he threw, and late in the game, the other day was just phenomenal. Like, it was like, holy cow, that was as good a pass as you'll see an NFL quarterback throw, and he's just played really well, and he's a franchise quarterback right now, and maybe he needed the right coaching. Maybe he just needed maybe the athletic ability was there, but the processing speed needed to catch up. But it's a lesson to be learned. And, the bad side of that lesson is you could draft a quarterback and have to wait, and you have to be bad for a while. But the other side of that lesson is just don't rush to judgment and say, get him out of town, get him out of town. It's like you have to be, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible predicament when they don't flash right away, because you might be wasting your time, right? Like we wasted a lot of time with Zach Wilson, but now you understand why, because sometimes all of a sudden, boom, and
The light turns on,
the light
the
turns
light
on.
turns.
So it's just hard with Jets fans. We've been, 15 years without the playoffs. It's going to be really hard for us if we get one of those quarterbacks that take 3 years. Like that's just it's not gonna be easy here for that to happen.
The only way, right, is to have a bridge, like to sign the perfect bridge quarterback. And when have we ever done that?
And that brings up a good point about, like, we a lot of buzz around Malik Willis. Are we a fit for Malik Willis? We're a place that offers him a place to start. We're a place that offers him, hey, not only is it a place to start, but most likely the way it looks, you're not automatically going to be replaced. Like if you have a great year, we don't have to draft a quarterback, and suddenly you're looking at this is your home and this is your life, and you get to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. So, but that's a great point in case. Like, did Tennessee really give him enough time? Did they put a good enough team around him? Do we know for sure? I'm not sitting there and saying that he is, but now I'm questioning whether or not, you put him in a good system in Green Bay. He got a chance to start a few games, and he looks like a real quarterback to me now. So again, I know what the chat's going to say. Do we have the coaching staff to do that, though?
See, and that's what irks me, man, is that a lot of people want to judge our 2026 staff like it's the one we have now. Like we I mean, don't get me wrong, it's very important for us to hire the right guys, but we still have that opportunity to hire the right guys.
We said we were
Everybody we're making what?
We said we were making changes.
Yeah, exactly. All around Angstrand, pretty much, and that's what I think all of us hope for. Around him means that he is the eye of the storm, and then you just figure out the rest around him. Give it. I got to see the staff hires. I do think that is going to paint a much greater picture than the one that we all have in our heart of hearts now. Can Glenn recruit guys that maybe don't look at us like their best opportunity? We got to find out, man. We're going to find out.
Yeah. We are going to find out.
We are. And there's still people calling for Glenn's head. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, do you think that there is still a world in which he is not our head coach next year?
It's getting less and less each day. Like each day he's not fired. When John Harbaugh was fired, it was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, and Stefano, and suddenly these guys came loose. So you thought there was this little possibility that maybe under behind the scenes they were going to reach out and they were going to find out, and then, oh, you know what? They like our draft picks. They, suddenly there's this little bit of interest. They have a plan because they maybe Malik will, maybe they think, oh, bridge quarterback, and then maybe, like you don't know for sure. I mean, it's doubtful, but you never know for sure. But I think that the reality is, and this is, again, just like you said, it doesn't mean we support it. It doesn't mean we're happy about it. It doesn't mean we're against it. I really, because we don't want to walk down that debate anymore. I think we're tired of it. But the reality is that each day that passes, you have to say, is significantly in favor of the fact that Aaron Glenn is going to be the coach of the New York Jets next year. And that reality just gets stronger and stronger every day that passes.
I'm kind of rooting for like the Playboy Bunny setup, where you got this Hefner in the middle that everybody is like not fond of, but then you have all these supermodels around them. That's what I want our coaching staff to be, man. If you think that Glenn is Hugh Hefner, let's go find some supermodels.
Yeah.
Tony chimes in. He says, "End the curse and hire Harbaugh." I mean, you just kind of said that. Would you still do it to this day? Do you think that it's even? I mean, you said possibly. If something else, I think presented itself. But like, what are we talking? Are we talking 1%?
Oh my God. There's like John Harbaugh. Why would he come here? Right. We already know that the Atlanta Falcons are all over him. He's their number one. We know the Giants are freaking laying down the red carpet. And that depends if he likes Jackson Dart, right? Everybody assumes they got their quarterback. Well, he gets to look at the film and he gets to decide, is that a guy that works in my, in the way my offense would look? Because I don't think the jury is completely decided on Jackson Dart. Maybe for some people, not for me. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just not convinced he's a franchise quarterback. I don't think there was enough of a sample size. Sure looks good. I'm not going to deny that. Like, when you throw 20 plus touchdowns to 5 interceptions, that's pretty good for a rookie. That's really, really, you can't, even with his bad games and even with like the things that he did bad, that cannot be disputed. But anyway, I don't see how we can compete with that. Like I don't see, every team has him as their number one. Miami is in the game now. Like I think we're a better spot than Miami, by the way. I do. I think we're a better spot than Miami, but
I do
can't,
too.
yeah, I can't say that we're a better spot than the Giants, though.
No, and even like Atlanta, you mentioned. I mean, that's a decent spot too, especially if you like the South. Seems like a cushy gig. What Daniel Murphy chimes in chaos, and he said it's weird watching good football. Can you relate to that sentiment?
Yeah, man. It's just like I'm watching and enjoying the games and thinking, look at these teams with good players that are doing special things. And, a lot of the guys, especially because now the league is starting to fill up to be a majority of the players that have caught up to when I started going to the Senior Bowl and really prospecting. And so I'm getting to see all these guys that I wanted to draft that I watched, and um, it's weird because we were stuck watching such bad football, and now here we are, and we're watching these like teams fight on every play, and they're competitive, and it really reminds you, oh, we got a long way to go, because
Yeah, yeah.
what I see on the field just doesn't look like that. Like what we were watching hasn't looked like that in a long time.
No, no, and I mean it's kind of is there a weight off of our shoulders? Maybe. Like we don't have to lock into shitty ass football 3 hours a week, Murph. Let's enjoy that. Um, I kind of got one last Jet game to see chaos Friday night. Did you happen to watch the almost Jet game that happened on Friday night?
Unfortunately, I I really wanted a high scoring game, two really good performances. Like I had nothing. I mean, as a matter of fact, if you told me one quarterback struggles, one has a great game, I would have preferred that Dante Moore had the great game, proved, addressed some of my concerns, said, here's Jeremy, you wanted to see me do it against a great defense. Well, here's me doing it against a great defense, and that would have made me feel much better about him if he came out and the Jets picked him. And I just didn't get that. Right. And I'm not somebody who's saying I don't want Dante Moore because of one game. I am saying, and we all know this because I'm on the show every week, I was a guy who said, I don't know. And I would like to see more. And there is more, because I said if he wins the game and he does great and then plays the national championship and plays great, that's going to be really telling. And unfortunately, I'm disappointed that I didn't get what I wanted, because I wanted that evidence to feel good about it. But again, if he came out and the Jets took him, I'm not going to sit there and say I'm not going to say because of that game I'm upset. I'm just going to say I'm very concerned because I never got to see the evidence that I wanted to see. But that doesn't mean he won't be a great quarterback.
Right, right. And honestly, full disclosure, if he comes out, I'm still taking him second overall. But am I feeling less confident about it? Yes. And not because of Friday night, but because this happened to them twice. I mean, yes, they hung with Indiana the first time. That was a very good game. But at the same time, you just lost to Mendoza twice in what, a month and a half, 2 months? Um, Dude, it sucks. It sucks. Also, we play the Raiders this year at home. We're in MetLife facing Mendoza. If we draft Dante Moore, you think that's not going to be a primetime early in the season game? Like, I think it will.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
At the same time, though, like that game, man, it was so hard because it wasn't even bad passing by Dante. Maybe I'd feel better if that was the case. For me, like we were like robbed of a real evaluation game of both of them because just the miscues in that first half just killed them. It killed the Ducks. I mean, he still made good passes down the stretch, but dude, there was not enough to show, like you said. You wanted to see him kind of cook Indiana at times, and he did. That second drive, he did. I'm not gonna front. That second drive was phenomenal. I love seeing it after that early pick six.
I remember saying to myself, that was a beautiful bounce back drive after
Dude,
throwing
it was like an 8-minute drive, 9-minute drive. But at the same time, after that, I mean, they couldn't stop a nosebleed, and it was just over. Mendoza cooked them to the point of if any of us were thinking maybe the Raiders would pass on Mendoza, that's gone. It's gone.
Well, I mean, and that was the thing. If there was,
Yeah.
what did I say last week? You asked me what the chances were, and I said 80-20. I believe I said 80-20. I will now change that to 93% to 7%. And that's only on the 7%. That's only on the that 7% only represents something happens between here and now, here and April. Like maybe he gets an injury, maybe the Raiders don't like him, maybe the agent says he doesn't want to leave in Vegas and there's some controversy. Like that's the 7%. That something goes horribly wrong. If the draft was tomorrow, I would bet my house that the Raiders take Mendoza.
And I don't know how plugged in you've been today. There's actually been quite a few Oregon Ducks who were potential draft prospects that have declared they're going back. They want to run it back. Tuioti is one.
That's what's making me think that Dante Moore is going to go back. I think these guys got together and said, we don't like the way this year ended. And I think they made a pact. I honestly do. Because Washington, too, the defensive tackles just said he's staying.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to get across. Tuioti, man, he'd be a top 50 pick, I think. He said it first. And then also a backup quarterback. I mean, Oregon has like six quarterbacks on their roster, but one of the backups said, you know what, guys, see you later. I'm going to the transfer portal. Why would a backup quarterback go to the portal if that starting job was opening up? I don't know. But just reading tea leaves, like you said, guys banding together, going back. Tuioti dropping a tweet that says, run it back, and he's one of the best of them. He's going back. Makes me kind of think as well, like you, that maybe the writing's on the wall, man. Maybe Moore isn't even an option anymore.
I think they went in that locker room. They got in a little bit of a huddle, and they said, we're going to come back and we're going to win this thing.
Dude, they want to. I can promise you that. So let me, I guess, steer it there. Moore doesn't come out. You have second pick overall. You are Jeremy Chaos Muji. And you have the second overall pick. Raiders go Mendoza. You're on the clock. What are you hoping happens, or what are you hoping to do with that?
I'm hoping, and I'm not expecting, but I'm hoping, because this isn't the right draft for it, and this is terrible Jets luck. If Moore doesn't come out, terrible Jets luck, because it is a very weak draft. As much as I love some of the players on top of it, they are not like the ones in the past. We don't have a Travis Hunt, a Hunter in this draft. We don't have a positional player like that. Unfortunately, I'm hoping that someone like the Giants call me and say, we'll give you a second round pick this year and like a third rounder or something next year. We'll give you a little something next year. to switch spots. And maybe people would say, you're crazy, Jeremy. We want more than that. You're not going to get more than that because of the players that are on the board, right? The players on the board, the fact that next year's such a strong draft. I mean, maybe you might be arguing you have to take 2 second rounders. If you go back, if you swap with the Giants, you're not getting a first rounder. You're getting their first rounder for swapping, but you're not getting an additional first rounder. You get a second rounder this year. That would be my demand. And I would try to get a second rounder for next year, but might settle for the third rounder. Because we have a lot of holes. We need a lot of things. So that's what I would be hoping. If they didn't pick up the phone, I would take Reese from Ohio State.
Nice. I guess my sentiment is, if we're sliding back, I want it to be fair value point system. If there's no quarterback there, you guys want to come up. If it's the Giants from pick 5, I mean, that's 900 points on the trade chart. That does project to be a first, a mid first, but
for next year or this year.
Well, they don't have 2 this year, so you know what I mean. So maybe a 2 now and a 2 later, maybe.
That's pretty much feels like a reasonable price.
Correct, and that's where
it's not for a quarterback. I mean,
yes, correct.
The point system's the point system, but in reality, we all know reality is reality. Why would the Giants do it unless they're not going to give a first round pick, because where they're sitting, they're going to get a good player.
I am so with you. But yeah, I don't want to. What I'm trying to say is, I don't want to soften our stance to slide. I don't want to sell for pennies on the dollar, so to speak, to facilitate a trade, unless it's one rung. If it's one rung at a time, I will take less, because then I know who they're coming up to get. And if it's not someone we want, then it's like, okay, I'll take whatever then.
Yeah, once I swap with the Giants, I would definitely allow teams to jump me. Like you got to play poker. Like, you call the team behind you and say, hey, you lie. I'm getting calls. I might trade back a few spots, and you make them nervous just by what you're saying. Like, we decide who we want. There might be 2 guys on the board. How many guys are on the board? How far can you trade back and know that you're going to get one of your guys? And if there's room, you keep bumping up picks, because we have a lot of holes. And we might be able to go all the way back to 11, 12 and take Sonny Styles. But by the time we get back that far, we might have 2 number 2s next year, a couple of number 2s in a third round. Like, how many picks, if you do it like you said, rung by rung.
Yep. And that's the thing. Don't jump more rungs than you have guys you're willing to draft on the board. So say you got 3 guys you love. Well, don't go back 3 rungs, go back 2, and you're still getting one of them. So we'll see. I do think Muji is a guy that has stuck with the point system last year. I think if you look at most of his trades, they were about what they ought to have been. Joe Douglas was the same way, to where, like, he's even done pick swaps to make it even out. It's pretty nice, but we'll see, man. I'm just glad we have pick 2, because that's a lot of value. I mean, that's more than a lot of teams have in their entire draft, just in that one selection. And then we have another first and two seconds. Like, we really do have the most points in the trade value system this draft. And I guarantee you we do the next year too. So
don't be shocked. I was thinking about this possible draft. I was thinking, let's say we draft 2 defensive guys, or 2 guys that's not a wide receiver. And let's say it gets to like 26 in the draft, 27, like we're in that part of the draft, and you see Concepcion still on that board.
Yep.
You go up to a team like the Rams, let's say they end up the way the season pans out, they're at 27. And you tell them, I will trade you 33 for 27. We swap. You go down 5 spots. And then we'll give you 45 and you give us 60. We'll swap with you 45 with like 60-ish, whatever that pick is, right? Now, here's what people say, well, why would they do that? They would do that if they have a few guys on their board and they're confident one will be there at 33. If they're confident that they'll get their guy at 33, and then they look at their board and say, man, there are a lot of guys that we want that we think could go between 40 and 60 that we're going to lose out on. Right? But we can get our guy if we swap with the Jets. And if we swap that second round pick, then we can get another guy that we really want. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm explaining how it happens, why other teams are willing to make those kind of moves. So I don't know what the point value says, but in my mind, 5 spots in that part of the draft to then swap 15 spots, like in the second round, might balance out. So my point is that 32nd pick or that 33rd pick of ours may end up being a late round first pick to get what that Hill guy, that linebacker that's projected to go near the end of the first round. It could be to get Concepcion, the wide receiver that's projected to go near the end of the first round. I'm just saying don't be shocked and don't rule that out. That's a strong possibility of something that can happen.
I am with it. I'm with it a lot because I mean, people on this channel know that like I'm worried about what happens after our top 50 picks. We really don't have much valuable assets left after that. So I do think we do need to slide with one of those first 4 selections. We'll see. We'll see, man. It's just this week, I mean, even regardless of more, like this week will help our thought process evolve because here in 4 days, that deadline is happening. It's not just Dante Moore who needs to declare, it's others as well. And then you start getting a full picture of what that draft can look like. We'll see, man. That's all I'm trying to say. Right now, it's a lot of projection, a lot of hope, but yeah, as the weeks wear on, it's going to be even more than that because we're going to see not only who's in play, but then pro days. Like, oh my God. See, and that's why I was high on Dante Moore because I think if he has a pro day, people are going to love it. But, you know, hey, we'll see what happens there. The Jets Life podcast chimes in. He says, good evening, fellas. Chat, how we doing? Hit the like. Thank you, Anthony. Hit that like button. And Chaos, were you going to say something?
I was saying another thing. I said, there's so many possibilities that I see. There's so many tradable things to do that, Dana. Like that 16th pick, which was supposed to be the 28th anyway. Like that's what we thought when we made the trade. Like imagine a scenario where the Pittsburgh Steelers want to swap with us so they can grab Ty Simpson because they like him. I know that Tank for Ty is going to hate that. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that's what I want, Tank for Ty. I'm just giving an example of something that could happen. What if Pittsburgh called us up on the phone? They're frantically calling people. They're trying to get up and grab him before he's gone. They're afraid someone else is going to take him. Let's say they get on the phone with us and say, let's swap picks, right? And we're going to go back into the little 20s and they're going to move up to 16. That's going to get us a second rounder this year and a third rounder next year or something like that, right?
You know what? Just to tip you off, man, I've been eyeballing the Steelers and Jacksonville because both of those teams have 3/3 this year apiece. So, man, that's something we need. So I kind of,
oh, you want to give me 2/3?
hey,
Like, hey, Jacksonville, you want to give me 2/3? I'll give you 16. You know, to swap with you. I'll swap with you. Give me your 2/3. I mean, again, some people are going to curse us right now. I mean, I'm not saying automatically I would do that. We're talking about possibilities, things that could very easily happen.
I agree. Actually, you mentioned him, Tank for Ty. Here he is with a comment. He says he would sign Kirk to be a placeholder until Ty is ready. Do you see a problem with that, Chaos?
No, look, I'm not outwardly against Ty Simpson. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think that I haven't seen enough of him to feel secure that he's a first half of the first round.
No.
You know what I mean?
Do you see a problem with signing Kurt though? Because I see a clear problem.
No, I don't mind if we for a reasonable price. I don't mind if we bring in some kind of bridge. Like I don't care if it's Kyle Murray or Kirk or I mean Malik Willis is interesting because Malik Willis to me is if you don't use a first rounder on a quarterback. Malik Willis is a guy you're bringing in to say maybe we threw a dart in the second or third or fourth round on a quarterback, and we're bringing in Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis bringing him is that move means, if you were to tell me in the future, if I could see a crystal ball, that we're not investing a top-notch pick on a quarterback and that we are giving Malik Willis a chance to be the franchise quarterback, a chance.
Agree.
But we're signing the type of contract that we can get out of and still draft a quarterback next year if he isn't.
The problem I initially saw with this is that Kirk Cousins isn't a free agent. And I know you know that, Chaos. We're assuming he will be. Same with Kyler Murray. Same with Tua, I'm sure. We don't know, man. We do not know. But I liked what you said.
Arizona cannot trade Murray, and we cannot trade for him. They can't cut him. I mean, if you look at the cap hit, it's just not realistic, right? They might.
No.
They're not going to cut him. It's just not realistic. And if you trade for him, I don't know if there's a way, if it's legal for the cap, as far as the cap is concerned, for them to absorb some of it. Like we can't do it.
Yeah,
we're going to have 28 people are leaving this team. We need to sign 28 players. We can't give him $80 million to play for us for 1 year.
Correct.
It's just not going to happen.
Correct. It's not. It's not. And I'm so tired of hearing about how we have $100 million in cap space, Jeremy. We are loaded.
28.
You just said it. Yeah, you just said it. Exactly.
Realistically, 20 of those guys, 15 to 20 of those guys will be $1 million, $1.1 million type deals. I get it. But the point is 100 million goes really fast. Even if, let's say you say that, okay, 21 guys, that's still 7 guys. 7 guys, 100 million for 7 guys. That still only comes out to an average of what, 12, 13 million a guy. I mean, that's not going to get you superstars.
No. The only thing I could see Muji doing, and I'm not saying he will because it's robbing from Peter to pay Paul, but the only thing I could see him doing is signing guys for 2 to 3 years and backloading some of the money because our situation in 2027 is fairly clean and this year is not. But I don't know if he's even willing to do that. Like, comes a point. How competitive do you need to be and go all in to be this offseason versus, hey, let's take our lumps this 1 year and then we have clean books, 1 million picks, and then we're cruising. I don't know, man. It's a legit question.
I think you could make moves this year, like for this year coming up, if they're the type of moves that don't kill the future. They can't be all in for next year moves, right? They can't be the kind of move that's thought to try to win the Super Bowl next year. And you know what I mean by that? Like a high-priced, wide receiver that's 30 years old already or 31, like when we got Devontae Adams like last year. It can't be a thing like that. An example that me and Matt O'Leary talk about all the time, you've heard us say it, would be if you went out and said, we're going to sign Lindenbaum to a 4 or 5 year, 5-year team control deal. That's different because it's not an all-in for next year. We're starting to put the pieces together to build a championship team. And that's just piece number 1 because he's going to be around 4 years after that.
They have to be pieces that age well. You're not going to go sign a
second contract.
30. Yeah. You don't want a 30-year-old wide receiver that's 10 million void next year or 2027 just to get him in 2026. That's not the deal you're looking for. But Happy Eddie McGuire chimes in. He says, you got to sign short-term guys. So yeah, there will be a lot of rentals. Like you said, Chaos, 1.1 million, 1.2. But he also says 2-year contracts, if possible, keep it open for the next coach. Yeah. Get the guaranteed money up front. And then maybe you backload it so the AAV looks better than it really is. Like that I can see.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. Like his 2-year contracts isn't all in, right? Like for all in means you sign a 5-year deal to a guy that is never going to play for you for 5 years because they're 31 or 30, whatever it is old, and that you're screwing the future and that you're going to eat it all later, right? Lindenbaum, those type of guys, you're not going to sign 1 million of them because you want your team to take shape. But if you bring in one guy like that to say, I want to solidify my offensive line, and now we locked it in. We got Lindenbaum, as an example. This is just an example. But we re-signed one of our guards or something, and now we're locked in for the future, right? For a long time, right? But the other kind of moves, I agree 100% with Eddie McGuire. The other type of moves are value type guys, a couple of years to be respectable, to protect the young players, right? Like, in other words, if we're going to get a quarterback, let's say, even if it was Malik Willis, you have to give him a fair situation, right? So you bring in these players just to make you a watchable football team. And then some of them might play well enough that they become the aging veterans that you bring back for a couple more years for the championship run, right? Or the playoff run or whatever. I'm dreaming, I'm way ahead. But that's what that could be, though. And then the ones that just kind of fizzle out, no problem. They're gone. And then in 28, 29, when we're ready to really make our move, we have salary cap and we're not way down.
They're off the books. Right. I am so with you. The only trouble I see is if Willis gets blown away on day one, with an offer, he could be signed to a team that is already taking shape versus us having to piecemeal an offense together prior to sending him an offer just to look appealing. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, if you look at the there's not that many suitors for Malik Willis that he's going to want. And here's what I mean. You have to narrow the field down to teams that are giving him not only you're coming in to be the starter. So right away, how many teams are going to say that you're coming in to be the starter, right? That narrows the field. And then be able to say, and in addition to that, you're going to be in a situation where you have the year to win the job permanently. So I don't know. I mean, and people will start. Somebody on Twitter was helping me out. They were starting to name possible teams. Somebody said Arizona. Well, they're not going to have money to offer him any real money because of the Murray situation that they're in, right? And if they're stuck playing Murray, Malik Willis is not going to want any part of that.
No.
Right. So you have to start thinking about where's Malik Willis going to go. There's only, Miami. Miami could offer him the starting job and a chance to be a permanent starter. So that's real.
Not Vegas.
Not Vegas because they're taking Mendoza. And then if you say Miami, who gives you the better chance, to play well right now? Miami's offensive line, they gotta have a new coach coming in. We have at least the same offensive coordinator with an offensive line that played well. It was the only bright spot of the team. So Malik Willis is saying, well, I got Garrett Wilson coming back, right? And they got 3 draft picks, so they could use on more talents. Maybe they'll use one of them on another weapon like Sadiq or a wide receiver, right? And I got an offensive line. So I mean, I don't think it's like this impossible thing that we would be an attractive landing spot for Malik Willis, and I also don't think that it's going to be so stiff the competition because there's only a few teams that could offer him starting job with chance to become franchise quarterback.
Correct. And when you put it like that, that makes a lot of sense. I also think he's not the only bridge guy I would be interested in. It's just he's the only one that would command more than $10 million a year. But I'd take a stab at him, man. I'm not kidding here.
What I like about him is he's the only one that gives us the chance that he could actually come in and play so well. And I'm saying it's a chance. I'm not relying on it. But if he came in and he crushed it, think of what that means for next year. We don't have to use a pick on a quarterback. That means we have 3 first-round picks that are fresh for positional players in what's already being slated as the best draft in over 10 years as far as just talent.
I mean, while you're talking Willis, I want to ask you this because he has looked good this year. Does it at all worry you that in his career he's only attempted 150 passes?
I think that absolutely is the reason why it has to be a very safe contract that doesn't lock us in. I mean, we 100% have got to assume. We have to assume the plan has to be the assumption is we're drafting a quarterback and it's a contract we can get out of. Like he plays 1 year, then he's the veteran for the rookie. So the rookie isn't forced to start. He's the option to start. That has to be the plan. And then he's gone for the rookie. It's up to him to change the plan, to be so good that he changes the plan. Like Daniel Jones before he got hurt, he was changing the plan for the Colts. He wasn't the long-term plan for the Colts. That's why he was a free agent. He's a free agent now, right? He wasn't the long-term plan. The Indianapolis Colts, you better believe, were changing their plans, right? They were going to now make Daniel Jones their permanent quarterback. He got hurt.
As evidence, they got rid of their first-round picks.
Right. They got rid of their first-round picks because they believed they had their quarterback, right? So that would be the situation. The situation would be that Malik Willis is the only guy, and I don't dispute these other guys. I don't care who the bridge quarterback is. The only reason Malik Willis is my top choice is because he's the only one that could realistically make us say, oh my God, we get to change the plan. In a great way. Because, man, can you imagine if we got to use those 3 first-round picks to fill our holes? Because even after this offseason in our in our draft picks this offseason, that we're going to have some holes still. I mean, we know for a fact. We don't, as many good picks that we don't have enough to fill all the voids on this roster.
We really don't. So it'll be interesting, man. What I wanted to ask you is if Dante Moore, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, we're going to have free agency first, right? So, well, you'll know Moore's intentions first. And then if he goes back to school, I think you have to not only get 1 bridge, but probably 2. If you have to get 2 bridge quarterbacks and sit on your hands for the next year and a half, is one of them Tyrod?
I'm just going to give you I don't know. I mean, and I'll say this. Okay, so listen to this one perspective though, because Evil Allen would say, I don't care who the bridge is. He goes, you don't need 2 bridges. Evil Allen would say no. He would say, get me anybody. Pay $5 million. Put Zach Wilson for all I care. That's what he would say. He would say, draft good players, develop the good players, put a shitty quarterback in there. Let's finish 4-13. Let's finish 3-14, whatever it is. And then let's pick our quarterback in the draft that's going to have a bunch of quarterbacks. That's what he would say.
Tank again.
Right. That's exactly what he would say. Right.
He's not way off base. He's not.
Now, I don't know how he'd feel about Malik Willis because I don't know how he'd feel about that. It depends. He might say, I hate him. No way. But if he believed there was a chance, like if he also said, no, I'm pretty impressed. I'm not convinced, but I'm impressed. And he would be the good bridge because maybe he could be good. I'm not convinced of it, but if he stinks, Allen is fine with that. If he stinks, that's fine. I'm happy he stinks. If he doesn't stink, then we got a quarterback, and that's a whole, that gives a nice different little twist. But I'm just throwing that in there that people are saying, oh, maybe we need 2. Maybe why? Why is it so important? If we're just getting a bridge, why is it so important that bridge is good? I think for Aaron Glenn, it's important because he's going to get fired if he doesn't win some game.
For our mental health, I'm not going to lie that it wouldn't help for our mental health. But the thing is, the second bridge wouldn't cost you anything. I mean, it would, $6 million, like whatever, man. Let's.
Also, I don't think to improve enough to save Aaron Glenn's job, for example. I don't think you need that good of a quarterback. I think with this offensive line and some of the weapons that we're going to add with Garrett Wilson, I think that you just need to be competent to some level, like Kirk Cousins or Kyle Murray, like any of the guys that you're saying, just some type of competence, just not the shit show it was last year. And then if we add players on defense and a new coordinator is able to come in and just get us middle of the league, we might be able to steal 6 wins next year. We might be able to go. I'm just saying, for Aaron Glenn's perspective, it's realistic to say I might be able to win 6 games. and go 6-11.
It's not
Obviously
even
in
the
his mind,
win. The wins. Be competitive in all of them, man. That's all. I
right,
don't even care if
right.
you win 2 games. If you don't get blown out like all December, I'm fine with that.
Well, if he goes 2-15 and we're competitive in every game, I know this fan base, they're going to be calling for his head, believe me. But even if he goes 6-11, they will be. But if we're competitive in every game and he goes 6-11, they could scream all they want, the fans. The truth is, Woody is not going to fire him. Woody's going to say, okay, that was the bridge quarterback. We showed improvement. We were competitive in every game. Now we're drafting a quarterback. Now I got to see what he does with, that's what Woody would probably end up doing, right?
Yes.
I mean, he might. I mean, some might argue, and I'm not going to dispute it. Some might say he might needs to win 7 to save his job. And it's possible because Woody Johnson is unpredictable.
To that, save his job to them or save his job to Woody Johnson?
For Woody. Like if everybody was pushing their own emotions aside, how many, assuming we're competitive almost every week, everybody can have a bad week, right? But considering we're week out and week in, week out, we're a competitive football team, no embarrassment. How many games do you think Aaron Glenn has to win to be safe?
Not as many as you think.
Right. It might be aggressive. And how many?
Well, it's the optics for me. Like, I think the optics outweigh the number of wins because, man, if he goes 4-13, but all 17 of them games we're not getting blown out of any of them, I think he gets another one, especially with no bridge or a shit bum Band-Aid. Like, I don't know, man. I just think that his leash with Aaron Glenn is even longer than the most negative of us think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't dispute that. I'm being more conservative about it. Maybe I'm affected more by the outcry of the fans. Maybe I'm believing that a part of me thinks that Woody's going to cave, that he's going to be so, scrutinized by the fans that he's not going to be able to tolerate it. He's going to
And that's possible.
Lose his nerve,
Let me spin this a different way. Happy Eddie McGuire chimes in, Jeremy. He has a question. He says, I really, really like taking Aller in round 2. This is our perfect prospect to mold. I think you're the perfect person to pitch this comment to. Do you think round 2 is too rich?
No. I mean, I know that for most people, I don't talk about it a lot because I'm not in the mood to defend myself. I'm a huge Drew Aller fan. I'm not a round 1 Drew Aller guy, but I'm a tremendous Drew Aller guy. I think that Drew Aller had a couple of bad games. He struggled a little bit. And I think that he played in the wrong system. And I think that if you put Drew Aller on the Ducks, everybody would be talking him as the number 1 pick right now, possibly. I mean, it's nobody wants to look at the real fair situation. Tyler Warren, he had one guy, he had a tight end. No other wide receiver was drafted in the first 5 rounds or 6 rounds last year that were his wide receivers. He had nothing. He had a good running team, a team built to run. He had no receivers. He had Tyler Warren, and he was a prospect. And then he comes in, he has no receivers this year. He had nothing in Penn State. If you would have stuck him on Oregon, if you would have stuck him in Ole Miss and put him in one of those friendly quarterback systems, what would he have done? Right? So now I could be wrong, and I wouldn't gamble a first round pick on it. But if you're going to sit there and take 45 and you're going to use 45 and pick Drew Aller with the condition that if he doesn't show something or he doesn't get to play, that you're not going to let it deter you from taking somebody next year. Right. It can't be that we miss out on someone next year. If we take him, we have to let him play. We have to. And if he sucks so bad that you can't put him in a game, you draft another quarterback in 27. If he gets into the game and he plays like shit, you draft a quarterback in 27. If he comes into the game and he plays really well and flashes, oh my God, then you struck gold. I think he got a bad rap. And everybody wants to turn on him because of 3 football games. A couple of football games where he didn't do as well as people thought he should do. Everybody wants to turn on him. Did they watch film? No. Infrared doesn't watch film. He doesn't. They didn't watch film. They're looking at the box scores. They're looking at his bad plays, and they're saying he stinks, right? But they're not looking at the situation. They're not looking at the system he was playing in. And if you watch what the kind of throws that he has made, and I know I'm basing a lot of that on the year before. If you watch the throws he makes, he on his film makes every single pass on that route tree. He is capable of dropping it in the bucket. He has film doing everything. He also has one of the strongest arms. He'd be top 5 arm strength in the NFL right now, without question. He has a cannon. He's tall. He's big. He's strong. He meets all these wonderful attributes. Not one Jet fan here. Every Jet fan here would have been burning houses down if the Jets would have taken Josh Allen. I want to say that. They would have been burning homes down. The Bills fans were so pissed when the Jets. Do you ever see the Bills' reaction when the Bills took Josh Allen?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Was on fire.
Yes.
They were on fire. And Drew, and there's no way. Infrared would have said that Josh Allen was a bum. And if he says otherwise, he's lying. Because Josh Allen was the same thing. 57% completion rate, lots of interceptions. He was a bum. But where did he play? He played for Wyoming. What did he have around him? He played in turmoil the whole time. He played under fire the whole time. He didn't have the guys around him.
Let me chime in.
And I want to say, I'm saying 45. I wouldn't go higher than 45 on him.
Okay.
I wouldn't go
would you
45 on him.
I'm not okay, so I wouldn't go higher than like 60 on him, but I would go 60. I would try to slide a little, get a third, then take him because I want an extra pick to throw one at him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Fair.
And I'm not fighting and screaming to take Drew Aller. I said I'm not going to get into it. I'm saying that if they took him, I'm going to be in the 1% that's not angry. If they took him at 45, I would love it. And that would be brilliant. If they took 45, traded back to 65, got a couple of more picks in there in the third round, or whatever it was, and then took him, that would be even better. And I would think that makes more sense because my ideal situation would be to take him in the third round, especially if no one else is going to take him. I mean, we might lose, someone else might be thinking the same thing. There's no way to know and read other teams. I would love him in the third round, right? I would not be one of the angry Jet fans if we took him in the second. But if you asked me as a GM, where would I prefer to take him?
Yeah.
Third round. Like I would love to trade back and get a couple more picks.
Let me ask you one follow-up question as we have 33 in here joining us live. Chaos. Appreciate you guys. Spike that like if you're joining us late, as I know some of you are. Appreciate you joining us here on a Sunday night. We are talking prospects, specifically under center, and even more specifically, Drew Aller. Chaos, I want to ask you his health. Does he have a shot of playing in camp should he be drafted?
It's a really good question. I don't know. So that would affect my decision. Like part of my decision would come at the combine, right? Like if by the combine he can't play, he's fourth round. Then it's fourth round, right? If he comes to the combine and he's fine and he's showing he's healthy, this is just me, and I know him in the minority. Like I know him in the minority. I get a little annoyed when people call him a bum because that's just stupid. I'm sorry, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. To call him a bum is really stupid because of 3 games you're going to throw out all the good stuff he's done. He's not a bum. The guy's got one of the strongest arms in the world. Like he would be a top 5 arm strength quarterback right now. I've seen him throw incredible, and he can throw a touch. Like I've seen the guy make amazing passes. I just want to answer does he have the brain for the NFL? I can't answer that for any quarterback in college. I can't answer if any college quarterback has the brain for the NFL until they prove that they do. I think that's what makes drafting a quarterback so impossible as far as being accurate.
I'm with you. And I don't think it's a hot take to say you'd take him at 45. I'm not even an Aller guy, and I'm saying I'd take him at 60. So like, I don't think he's a bum. I don't. And you know what, Infrared, if you believe that, that is totally your prerogative, brother. But I invite you to, watch more of his games from 2023 and 2024 and whenever, just fully evaluate him. And also, what kind of quarterback are you expecting to get after pick 50? Because I think after pick 50, he looks like a pearl.
It's throwing darts, right?
Yeah.
And then when you get a guy who is injured, when you get a guy who was once projected to go top 5, right? You're getting a guy that was once projected to go top 5. When you're getting that kind of guy, he's saying he has no compatibility to Josh Allen. He wouldn't have said that when Josh Allen was in college, though. It's a lie. He didn't even, I guarantee you wouldn't have said that when Josh Allen was in college, because I know it. It's the same thing. Everybody in the world, I remember, was mad, was laughing at the Bills, and all the Bill fans were mad. And everybody said Josh Allen is not accurate. He's not good. He just has a strong arm. What a wasted pick. What a joke. And now, today, everyone claims that they knew, right? Infrared knew that Josh Allen was going to be good. Everybody says it. No. I liked him, though. You actually absolutely compared the two. It's actually very similar. They have very similar attributes. They're very similar type players, not in skill level. I'm not saying Drew Aller is Josh Allen, but if you're doing
what if you said Josh Allen in college only versus Drew Aller in college, would that be a better comp?
That's the comp. That's what I'm talking about. If you just took college Josh Allen, you got a guy with a 57% pass, a 57% pass completion rating, a guy who throws interceptions, a guy who's not amazing, who played in a crappy situation with players around him, right? Didn't have great receivers. But if you looked at the film and looked at the throws he made and his arm strength and his size and his toughness in running and his physicality, that's why the Bills traded up to get him. I'm not saying someone's going to trade up to 7 to get him, especially after the injury. What I'm saying is it's an absolute real college comp. You can compare them apples to apples in college. Saying that they have nothing to do with each other is just somebody who doesn't watch film. It's somebody who's just basing it on box scores. I promise you. And they're comparing the box scores of Josh Allen in the NFL to Drew Aller in college. They're not comparing the box scores even college to college.
I am not disagreeing with you, sir. I think Infrared is, but that's his prerogative. I have a couple other questions for you. A couple comments I starred. Happy Eddie McGuire says, I really, really like... Okay, I did ask you about this. Sorry, I did ask you about this. Okay, Sean chimes in. He says, if Dante Moore goes back to school, how do you see the top 4 selections going?
Yeah,
I know you talked Reese at 2, maybe.
I said Reese at 2 if we couldn't trade down a little bit.
And then you got Arizona and Tennessee.
And then I think that, I think there's going to be trades, so it's really hard, but let's assume there were no trades. To me, it would be Reese with number 1. If we got Reese, then I don't need Sonny Styles. Sorry, Rusty. I want Mekhi Lemon. 33 becomes hard because there's a lot of linebackers if we don't take Reese that along the way that I'm looking at, right? And also Washington was a defensive tackle I was considering at 33.
Maybe just give us positions, because there are prospects still that we're in the weeds, man. It's still January.
I would love at 33 to trade that up a little bit, like we were talking about before, or if he slips, I would love to find a wide receiver with that third. Oh no, if we take Mekhi Lemon, we don't need that. 33 edge. Okay, so let's do that. Let's say we take linebacker. If we get Lemon, that's wide receiver. I want edge at 33. I want safety at 45. See, so I'm not sitting there thinking take Drew Aller. Like if you listen to my 4 picks, I'm not sitting here yelling Drew Aller. Like that's why I didn't want to get into a fight or an argument with people, because it's not even what I'm thinking. I just don't like when people automatically use the word bum. Because it's just
Did you see the nine people that were with you in the chat though, Jeremy? I mean, let's not just focus on the negative. There was a lot of people down there that said Aller could be the steal of the draft.
Yeah. And by the way, now Infrared's being stupid because I was like, yes, I had Membo at number 1. And I have the
You were here. You were here.
I have the receipts. Go to my channel and look at my old videos.
You were a Membo guy.
I fought for Olu. I said I was the guy that was neutral on Bowers or Olu. I said if they take Olu, I'm fine with it. Yes, I watched tape on it. As a matter of fact, don't name offensive lines, Infrared. Dom C and I, like, that's Dom C's specialty, and he's the one that taught me how to watch film. I watch more offensive line film than any other position. Tony, the GM, got me into watching quarterback. The one thing that I was actually taught about in offensive, like technique and what to look for by Dom C was offensive line. So the answer is absolutely yes. Fasciano and Membo saw it coming from a mile away, had rankings. I even had Ozzie Trapilo. I was the first freaking Jet fan talking about Ozzie Trapilo. And he was the starting left tackle for the Bears. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but he was the starting left tackle for the Bears. And I had him. He was projected 3rd rounder. Nobody cared who he was. I came back from the Senior Bowl, and that was my guy. And I said, if you don't get Membu, if you walk out of the 1st round without a tackle, you can get Ozzie Trapilo. And I wouldn't wait till the 3rd round. I'd grab him in the 2nd round. So, and look how he's doing. So you don't want to get into a offensive line thing with me, because that's the one thing I know.
I don't know if I believe you can. No, just kidding.
I didn't delete any videos. I don't delete any videos. It's all on my channel. People could go back to everything I've ever said.
You know what? Tank for Ty says it pretty good here. He says Infrared is rage baiting you. You know what we need? We need a segment that's just called Trigger Chaos, and we just bring the the most trigger worthy comments. No, I don't think he's just doing that. I think Infrared is firm in his beliefs, and I think that Chaos is too.
No, he's not.
No,
Infrared watches my channel, so he is rage baiting.
Well, he does come back and says, I never heard Chaos nor Dom C talk about Fasciano or Membu. You're full of shit.
So he is rage baiting me because I know he knows, because he watches my channel and comments on my channel all the time that he agrees with the things that I've been saying. The only thing we've ever disagreed on is Drew Aller. And I'm not even a Drew Aller guy in the sense that I'm not saying we should take him. I just gave you my 4 picks, and there's no Drew Aller in those 4 picks because I have him projected at earliest 3rd round. I'm just saying, if we took him, I wouldn't be mad.
See, I wish he had a pro day and a combine and all that shit too, because I think that we would have to take him, like 44 might be too late if he had a pro day and a combine. Same reason I thought Dante Moore would slaughter those things, man, because I don't think Mendoza will. I don't think he's got the acumen. I think his best shit is on film. And I think Moore and Aller would be guys that would thrive in that environment, the combine, the pro days, just displaying, dude, both great arms, right? Well, they have both.
Well, one of the things I want to say is, because one of the things Infrared, and I'm saying this in a calm way, said was Josh Allen was projected to go 23. What I truly believe is if that Drew Aller never got hurt, and let's say just finished the year okay, had some good games, had some bad games, I think he would have worked up the charts, and he would have made it back into the 1st round based on his combine and based on his arm. And if he's healthy, he might still get back into the 2nd round. Like, if he's healthy, if he's able to go to the combines, you might see that happen. I mean, Tony the GM thinks, and I'm totally serious about this, and he's serious. He's not messing around. Tony, the GM, has been, for the last 2 months, texts me all the time. I'm not lying. He texts me. He has my number. He believes that Drew Aller, he told me as early as 2 months ago that he still believes Drew Aller is going top 5 in this draft. I am totally serious about that. He still believes it. And I told him, I said, Tony, look, I know you love the guy. I know why you love the guy. And I'm not saying you're wrong, that he's going to be a good quarterback. I said, but he's not going in the top 5. And he said, yes, he is. He goes, the NFL guys know. I swear on that. And if he was here,
Hey,
he'd say it. If he was here, he would say it. He would say it.
I think he might be texting you right now, telling you the same thing, man. But you know what? Top. I think he could be QB5, top 5. Nah, man. Health is the biggest thing, and I don't know
No,
what Tony thinks of his health, but
I told him, I said, look, Tony, I said, first of all, and I said the same thing. I said, even if he wasn't hurt, it was going to be very hard. Like, I didn't think he was going to go top 5. Like I said, he fell like the Clemson quarterback, like Klubnik. He fell. Like, he's not going top 5 anymore. Right. But he could go top 50. Like Penix came up. Like you never know. Combines and a team is desperate. They trade up, whatever. But once he got hurt, no. Like, we don't, because you don't know. Some guys don't heal the right way. He might never have that mobility back. Like, you just don't know. He's honestly convinced that Drew Aller is still going to go early in this draft. And let me tell you something, Dano, and I'm telling everybody this. If Drew Aller, if it was to happen between now and April comes, and suddenly Drew Aller is a first-round pick that goes in the top 10, Tony the GM, I will never fight with him again. Like, I will bow to him and say, you're the king.
at that point, yes. I am fine with that. I full permission, Chaos. Bow all you want. Because he earned it then. A couple other starred comments I want to ask you as the Patriots just beat the Chargers 16-3. Patriots defense, man, 0 touchdowns allowed.
They're blaming the offensive line for San Diego for the Chargers.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Herbert, man, like he's good. I would want him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not an idiot. Like, Herbert would be the
right.
best thing that ever happened to us.
Oh yeah.
The one thing about Herbert that I noticed, though, like the one thing I'll say, and it's not even a critique because he was really good his rookie year. If you did he get better since his rookie year, or is he pretty much a straight line quarterback? Like, he was really good his rookie year, and he's just really good every year. I thought the excitement about Justin Herbert was that he had such a good rookie year, and you thought, oh my God, by the time he's a 3-4 year veteran, he's going to be like unstoppable.
He's plateaued.
Never happened. Never happened.
He's plateaued, man. He certainly has. I mean, I don't want to take away from the fact that they did lose Joe Alt. They lost Mekhi Becton. I mean, that O-line has been as bad as ours was, a couple years back. But you're right, man. He has kind of just been just straight line. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but like, you would hope to have some ceiling that's top 10. And right now it's more like a floor that's top 16, which whatever, you know what I mean? You're not going to write home about that is all I'm saying. Let me throw you a question, Chaos, because I got like a couple here. Daniel was here very early on, and he went to bed, I'm sure, because he has like a 3 a.m. shift. But he says, are you more confident in Muji and the front office bringing in good quarterback and players, or more confident that the coaching staff can coach up good players? Both, neither. And I'm going to give you let me step away for 60 seconds. But if you could answer this, I would appreciate it.
I am not convinced on either, but I'm also not dead against either. If I was looking at evidence, in my opinion, right now, I have more evidence to be more. If I had a rate, who would I give the higher grade to? I know that they share responsibility, and that's what I hate about this shit. Like, when you have a coach that doesn't report to the GM and they both report to the owner, and you don't know who's really calling the shots. But so I'm going to do it from a position perspective, like the perspective of whose responsibility it traditionally is. Right now, I feel, not that it's great, but I feel stronger about the team's personnel decisions than I do about the coaching on the football field. So I think there was a lot of good moves and a lot of smart contracts. Like, I think the reason we were even able to make that Sauce trade is because it was such a smart contract, because it was done in a way where we weren't going to take a cap hit of $100 million, which a lot of new fresh contracts would be, right? So I think the contracts, the way he designed the contracts, I think was done very well. I think that the players, again, I don't know if it's Glenn or Mood, so I'm going to do it more by, coaching versus personnel decisions. I like a lot of the moves. Like, I don't think these are stars, but I think Brownlee, I think Phillips are really strong role players, like depth. I think that Briggs, not enough people are talking about the fact that he's still young and gets better every year, and that Briggs could be not only a starting player, but a really good one. Because there was exciting moments for him, like where he really looks like he's a really good defensive tackle. And he's young and he gets better, and he's one of those guys that is ascending. You know what I mean? So I really, if I was to take any bright spot, coaching versus personnel decisions, I have to take the personnel decisions. The personnel decisions, I thought the draft picks were okay. I think Memba was a great pick. I think that the other jury's still out, but I think AZ Thomas playing and not sucking and having ups and downs is a good sign for a third-round quarterback that had to play his rookie year. I think Mason Taylor, his jury's not out, but he flashed a little bit right before we went to Brady Cook and went to crap. By his 6th, 7th game, Mason Taylor started to come out of his shell. He started to look really good. And then everything went to shit and he disappeared because the whole offense disappeared. So I'm going to say that I have more confidence right now in the personnel decisions and bringing in good players. I don't, more than I do the coaching staff being able to develop players.
I couldn't have said it better, man. And that's not how I felt even in April after that draft, man. That day 3 left a sour taste in my mouth. I mean, you were here. Infrared has to go back and watch the draft streams on this channel tonight. That's his homework. But then he can see that you were a Membu guy. But also, like, day 3, man, there was some guys we were really licking our chops at. There was also Buffalo trading in front of us twice for a defensive tackle when we needed one. I didn't feel good in April, but summer went on, and then heading into week 1, Jawan Briggs, man, Harrison Phillips. I think Harrison Phillips could wear a C next year. Like, I really do.
He could.
He could.
Yeah.
Dude, like,
He might.
and then also, like, and I want to be abundantly clear with this. If we kept Aaron Rodgers, if we did, and I don't even know whose decision that was, but if we kept him, how many more games will we lose or win? I don't know. But what we wouldn't have done is traded Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams for 3 first-round picks mid-season. We would not have. And we would have lost out on that. And now those draft picks are fueling 90% of this fan base. 90%. So good, dude. Very good foresight to not only get rid of Rodgers, but mid-season to realize, hey, these guys aren't gonna take us over the hump. They're not even gonna get us to see the hump, yet alone get over the hump. Swing 2 phenomenal deals, and I don't care what Indy wants to say publicly lately that they would do that trade again if they get no, bro, no. You would not. And guess what? Too late. Our picks. And dude, I have to give Muji like a B plus, man. And it can't be an A because of Fields or Brandon Stevens. I'm still wishy-washy on, but like some of the under the radar moves he's made have been A plus, and that brings him up to a B plus for me. Coaching staff though, that's like a D plus, maybe an F plus. So what I would like to see, and I know you did a video on that, I think today, maybe yesterday, about the dynamic with those two. I, like you, and check out Chaos's video, man. I, like you, wish the coach answered to the GM who answered to those above. Like, I wish there was an established pecking order because no longer these guys should be like this. Now, next year, can Glenn get a little of our confidence back? Yes, but right now, dude, Muji up here, Glenn down here.
Yeah. I mean, what I would love is I would love, because I want Woody completely out of the picture, right? So like if he cared about this team and this fan base, what he would do is look in the mirror and say, I'm a schmuck. And he would hire a president of operations, not one that runs the business side. I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about, run the team, like personnel wise, building a Super Bowl winner. So you go out there and you find a really, just a really good reputation, like guy, right, who's stepping out of the GM world, wants a little bit less of a role that in that sense, and just be, ready for just this next step of they're older and they're ready to just hire the GM, but overlook things and make sure things are put in place the right way. So this way, there's no more Woody, right? Take him out. He's just an owner, a silent owner, sits in his box, watches. You have a president of operations. Yeah, that president of operations signs a GM. That GM now gets a coach, right? It's too late for that in a sense, except it isn't. Because if you look at the year right now that these guys have had, it would be totally, totally not outrageous for Woody Johnson to come in and say, like, it's not even too late to say, hey, as of right now, Mooj is in charge, final say. Mooj is in charge of you. You report to him. Because what is Aaron Glenn going to say? What is Aaron Glenn going to say? Does he think there's ever going to be another head coaching opportunity for him? We're the only option he has to save face. If he was to say no, I'm leaving, he will never get another opportunity. I promise you, right? So it's not too far to say now to say, hey, we're not firing Aaron Glenn, but what we are doing is we're restructuring. And right now, Mooj is the general manager, and our head coach reports to the general manager. And it's not too late to do that right now. He could do that. The window is there right now.
Right. I agree. So you don't think Glenn will be able to pull off a Sala, get fired from here, go take a defense to the playoffs and reinvigorate his image and then get more head coaching interviews?
No, he's not even that good of a defensive coordinator. I'm not saying he's a bad defensive coordinator. He's not that good. He's not like that you're describing Robert Saleh, right? You're describing guys that were really good at what they did. Like Mike McDaniel will go somewhere as an offensive coordinator if he doesn't get a head coaching job, and he'll have a chance to become a head coach again as long as he goes to a team and makes their offense a great offense, right? Like these guys have a chance. The thing about Aaron Glenn was he wasn't coming in on his resume as I'm one of the top coordinators, I'm this genius coordinator. He was coming in as I'm a leader of men. That was his thing. That's why he hired Wilkes, and then he brought in a guy he trusted that he watched in Detroit succeed, that he believed can put that offense here in New York. But like that's what he did. Like his job was he was a leader of men. He said, I don't coach defense or offense. I'm not one side or the other. I'm a leader of the team. I go in and I stick my nose in everything and I lead players. That's what he said he was. So if he was to go somewhere else right now without the chance to prove that that's not a joke, who's going to give him a chance to prove that now at this point? He's going to magically reinvent himself and come back as a defensive coordinator that's good? He'll have to land on a pot of gold. He'll have to land in a place that has great personnel.
Do it this year and magically turn into a good head coach.
No, he has a chance to save face, though. If he, like the thing is, that's why I'm saying he has to say it, because his opportunity to turn this around is here and now. So he'll have to swallow that. If they say we're doing a reorg, Mooj is the guy, you report to Mooj, he has to swallow that. And then if he wins 6 or 7 games and then makes the playoffs the following year, he can then go and say, I don't report to anybody. You could say whatever you want, but I'm making the decision. Otherwise, I'm gone. Because suddenly he's the guy who turned us around and now has all the power. And you know what? He can have it if he turns us around.
Yeah. If he turns us around, correct.
A couple more. He didn't do anything to earn having equal status to a GM. That's the ridiculous thing about this. What did he do to earn that right to have equal power to Mooj?
No. Yeah,
what
nothing. Aside from promising guys things just to get them in the building, like I would promise Josh McCown passing game coordinator and assistant head coach. Did he deserve that? Maybe not, but I'm using it to entice him here. Maybe we did that with Glenn, but honestly, there were other options. We didn't need to play that card. I just think Woody likes that dynamic, and I, for one, don't, and I know you don't either. Judging from your video you uploaded on JetsChaos YouTube today.
You push it. Videos. I don't know why the videos are doing good. I hadn't made videos in freaking 6, 7, 8 months or something. It's been forever. I don't even remember the last time I made a video. It's the weekends, which they never do good on the weekends. They never traditionally do good. I made some videos and just started throwing them out there. And like the second video I put out there on a Saturday has over 1,000 views. I don't know.
Dude, I stopped making videos because mine never do well. Maybe you're right, though. Drop it on a Saturday morning or something, maybe. And happy Eddie McGuire here.
I'm
He
telling
says,
you, I would never recommend dropping it on a Saturday. That's the first time it's ever worked.
Hey, Eddie McGuire liked it. I did too.
Thanks.
Let me rapid fire a few more here because I do have like 5 more starred and I want to get through them. So let's not spend too long on each one. Anthony says he was checking his TV guide today. Wow, man, where did you find a TV guide? He says he couldn't find a Jets game. Did we have a bye week?
Like, thank God we didn't have it. I mean, thank God we didn't have. Thank God it's over, the regular season.
Yes.
Not thank God that we're not in the playoffs. That sucks.
Right. Snowball chimes in. He says Will Howard won the Natty last year, Chaos, and he's sat behind Aaron Rodgers for a year. Is QB3 for the Steelers? We ought to make an offer. What do you think of that?
I mean, look. I mean, if I take the Evil Allen's view, I mean, who cares? Like, if they traded him easy, like if we didn't, like, because what would they get for him? I mean, they used a 4th round pick on him, right? 5th round pick. They're not going to ask us for a lot. The attitude that, if your attitude is I really don't care, then who cares, right? And then if he's good, yay, you struck gold. But Aaron Glenn's not doing. Aaron Glenn's not doing it. He's not putting his job in the hands of Will Howard. You could argue, and people argued in my chat. They argued in the reaction to my video in the comments. You could argue that he's not going to put he's not going to put it in the hands of any rookie, even if Dante. He'd get a bridge.
No, let me ask you this: would you rather spend a 4th on Drew Aller or a 4th on Will Howard, who won the Natty and sat behind Rodgers for a year, but has a year less on their contract?
I like Drew Aller better than Will Howard.
That's what Snowball needed to hear, I think. Okay, fair. And that's what I think that was more his angle, is not to trade for him and make him the starter, or, it's just.
And when I say that, I want you to know, I think Will Howard might be more ready and a better quarterback if he played for us next year than Drew Aller. But I'm talking about ceiling. If you're throwing a dart, who has the higher ceiling to be that jackpot? And because I don't care about winning next year, because we're not winning anyway, if I'm going to throw a dart, I want to throw a dart at the biggest jackpot possible.
Yeah.
Even if it's a longer shot, even if it's higher odds, the grand prize is bigger.
I'm with you. I mean, a QB1 should be a high floor guy, and then after that, high ceiling guys. Long-term builds.
Someone said something interesting in the chat. Patty Grimes has an interesting comment that I think is something that's worth talking about. He's in the draft. I think that the combine is going to have a really big impact on where this guy goes. Because, by the way, you have to understand, from where we are right now to the Senior Bowl, to the combines, we've seen quarterbacks that are on the boards or 150, 150th ranked player, projected to go for day 3, all the way up into the end of the first. Right? We've seen crazy, crazy jumps. Right? So we don't know where everything's going to fall. Right now, if you're telling me Trinidad is there and we traded back, I love your thing though. I love the thing that if you're gonna do a move like that, you trade 45 back to 60, 65. You do it there and you get me an extra pick in the 80s or the 90s, right? So, but right now, because this could change, right now, if I thought he was going to be there at 70, if I thought he was going to be there at 75, whatever, if I thought he was going to be around there, and I wouldn't use 45 on him, I'd trade it back and try to get him. Or clump all my 5th round picks and try to move up.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting prospect. I think he's an interesting prospect. I think he has some really good film. I haven't watched it all yet. I'm like 3 games into him. And I like to watch film. I like to take random games and watch the whole game. That's how I do it. I don't watch highlights. I watch entire games, every rep from 2 different camera views. So I can see who's open and I can see everything, right? I really like him. I really like what I'm seeing. And it's not that game against Georgia. It's not the one game. Dante turned on him way before that bowl game.
And I know people, and including myself, hate NFL comps. What would you comp him to if you had to, gun to your head, comp him to a player? Not in skill and ceiling, just in play style.
First of all, someone's saying he's really small. I don't think he's that small. I mean, I don't think he's tiny, right? Maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't know he was that small. Like you're saying it like he's 5'10" or something, 5'9". I don't think he's like that. I think he's what, 6'1"? 6'1"?
6'1".
6'1". Okay. Is not big. He doesn't have that. Right. So he doesn't have that nice attribute of being tall, like a taller quarterback. So I agree. That's why I wouldn't take him. That's why I wouldn't take him in the first round. That's why I'm not using huge capital on him. But I mean, Young for Carolina, who is emerging as a very good quarterback, isn't very big, right? So, but I get it. I know what McGuire's saying. Tall quarterbacks, let's face it, statistically, you have a much better chance of hitting, but on a taller quarterback. But I just said take him at pick 65, right? So at pick 65,
yeah.
It's like I'm not saying use high capital on him. I just love his film. He makes every throw. He makes every throw. He drops it. He has film where he's dropping it in the bucket in the corner of the end zone, like with touch. He has film where he's throwing deep to different parts of the field. He throws in between the seams. He throws good short passes that are good ball placement. I mean, he looks pretty solid to me.
I like it as Snowball chimes in. He says he's going to die on the Will Howard Hill.
That's fine. I'm not saying I'm not declaring him a guy who can't end up being a good quarterback. Like I no longer say that about anyone.
Yeah, right. Same here. And you've even brought that up a lot the last few weeks, and I'm with you, man. Nobody can die on a QB hill unless they're already playing well in the pros. Snowball chimes in, though. He says, would Byron Leftwich be a good quarterback coach candidate? Chaos. That's a lot of C's.
I'd be happy if we got him. I'd be happy.
Is that a high enough high for you? I mean, I think we need to hit a damn home run at that spot. Is that enough?
It's high enough because we can't get the home run. Because if there was a home run guy, they would already have a job. And if for some weird reason they didn't, we would not be the first person on their list. They'd go to the New York Giants, who already have a kid that they are looking at saying, I could develop that kid, or somewhere else. Like, so in the real world, that's about as high as we're going to be able to get probably. So at least it's a guy with experience. At least it's a guy who played on a good coaching staff. He played for good coaches. He coached for good coaches. I don't think that he's a home run. I don't think he's a grand slam. But if they hired Byron Leftwich, he's better than the guy we have now, I guess. Maybe. Yeah. I might even be wrong about that.
Nah.
Everybody's just saying, "Oh, he's a running backs coach." I don't know. He was somebody. I think Gino. Somebody had like the best year of their career
Yeah,
with
dude,
him.
he was a running back coach. He was a running back, but he's also been a quarterback coach for 5 years and counting. And you're right. He coached Gino when Gino threw for 70% completion rating. Not bad.
I mean, like,
But
what does a guy to have to do to have a convincing resume?
be pearless, pristine, and then they don't want to come here, right? Like,
I mean,
all right,
we have
just work.
we have to accept the fact that we're going to have to be a team most likely, unless Woody is willing to throw the wallet, open the wallet. That most likely we're going to have to be a team for everything to hit. That we're going to have to be the discovery team. We're going to have to be the team that takes a chance on a young coach and boom, they're the next big thing. Because every one of these great
like Chris
coaches
Banjo.
yeah, exactly. Every coach that you dream about, like right now around the league that you wish you had, was once somebody taking a chance on them.
I am with you. Just to keep it rolling, Johnny chimes in. 27 still here, by the way. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We got just maybe 20 minutes left, I think. Question for the panel, says Johnny Boy. He says, is it a good thing that a quarterback hasn't played too long in college? He hasn't learned any bad habits and gets to the NFL and can truly then be molded and developed. So, where do you draw the line there with inexperience versus not too rigid?
I think it's that would be true for running back. I don't love when a guy's played running back 4 years in college as a starter because they've already taken so many hits and you can only take so many. So that kind of like scares me a little bit. With quarterback, I don't know. I mean, I don't think. I think that you could make the argument of bad habits, but when you're drafting a quarterback, you're taking him because you believe that you're seeing the attributes and you're seeing coachability. That's what the interviews are for. You know, um, experience is a good thing. Like a quarterback, reps is a good thing. Lots of reps at high level is a good thing. Um, I mean, there might be specific examples of where someone's in a spot where it's making them worse for the NFL, where it's like it's not productive because they're learning literally the wrong thing. But I don't think that's usually the case. Like I don't think that's mostly the case. I think that when you're in college being coached, I think most of the things apply to the NFL. You're just not going up against the speed. Like the systems might be different, but they're still preaching good decision making. They're still preaching good mechanics. They're still preaching like the things to look out for, to pay attention where the safeties are. They're still preaching all the things you want them to gain experience in doing for the most part. So I think you could take a one-off example of I think this situation is actually negative for a quarterback, but I don't think that's the norm. I think the norm is drafting an experienced quarterback is a good thing. Like you want them to. I'm not saying they have to have 4 full years of starting, but like it's the same thing what they're saying about Ty Simpson. I would love to see another full year of him.
Right, right. And Parcells' big thing was 30 plus games started. And that's the model. You can't take them if they're under 30 games started. You would move that goalpost a little. 30 is a lot, right?
Things have changed since then. Yeah, like guys don't start as freshmen anymore, as sophomores. Now with the transfer portal, things just work differently now. Like in a lot of cases. And it's just different. Guys come out after, they get redshirted and then whatever, and they play the sophomore year, they play a tiny bit. They have a junior year, so they don't have a lot of games. But so maybe they don't hit 30 games, and even though they're a senior or whatever the situation is. But I it's just different. Like back then, it felt like every quarterback by their sophomore year was playing. Like colleges didn't have such recruiting advantages where they had 4 quarterbacks to choose from. It felt like colleges would go out, they would get their guy. By the sophomore year, the guy was starting. You developed him in college. He played 3 full seasons. You know what I mean? And then you draft him.
I do.
That's how it felt to me.
I'm with you. Times have changed. Chaos, like I just teased a little bit. I said we got about 20 minutes left. 2 hours. We try to cap it at. I threw down in the chat. I said, "Hey, we got time for 1 or 2 5-minute callers if you guys are game." And Chaos, man, we got 2 callers, and the first of which has never called into the channel before. Can you handle a couple callers?
Gotta be in front.
I wish it was. It is not. No. But it's a guy I think you've seen in the chat quite a bit. Let me bring him out, see what he has to say. A lot of good Jets conversations. And if you're still one of the 30 here with us, spike that like button and say hello to Tony Alexio.
Oh, I know Tony. Come on, man. We know that.
Hey, hello. I'm in Hollywood with the Chaos Pockets. How you doing there?
What's up, man? It's always good to see you guys.
Hello.
I haven't seen you in a while live. Oh, he's locking up. He's out there in Hicksville, Long Island, or Deadsville.
Going well with Green Bean. I hope everything's going. Yeah. Give my regards to Green Bean. I hope he's doing good. Take care of him. Oh, I'm not working that well.
You're okay. Hey, we're gonna give you a wide berth. Speak your piece, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. There's 3 things Glenn did good so far this year, and that's it. It's on one hand. I have 2 fingers that I'm waiting for him to do. One was hire Muji. Excellent. 2 banjo, and 3 dance. That's it. I mean, but the two are the most important ones. Muji, like you said, needs the full power there. Now, my other question is Spielman. Isn't he the one that's ahead of them all?
No, he was
Rick
a
Spielman?
consultant. He was a consultant. He's a contractor. They hired that company, 33, to help find a GM and coach. But they're not employed.
Okay, all right. I hope they resolve that issue, because we need, like you guys always talk about, football people in there, but Muji is a keeper without a doubt, and I mean, I don't think anybody would be unhappy to see Glenn go, but that's beyond our pay grade, I guess, but I just hope to God they bring in some offensive coaching staff to help, because the quarterback situation was just so terrible. I mean, even we were even believing the hype that Fields could be the bridge. Like, we all were fooled, but he went to the worst ever, and everything just fell apart. It was just a terrible, terrible choice. They got to get that part fixed out. Do you see anybody that would come over and stuff with the coaching regime in the offensive?
We might have to go for some younger, kind of like we found Chris Banjo. We might have to go. There's a lot of people will recommend, because it is in this industry. People think it's only competition, but there is in this industry, coaches will help younger coaches. Like Chris Banjo, Aaron Glenn didn't discover him. Sean Payton referred him. Sean Payton said to him, because they're friends, said to Aaron Glenn, "You should look at this guy. He's our assistant special teams coach. He's ready to be a coach." That's what happens in the league. So there could be a coach that's an assistant offensive coach somewhere, that's a younger guy coming up. They all think he's a stud, like he's really smart, and we might have a coach like that referred to us. That's how it happens if we can't attract an experienced, proven guy. And the issue is that as much as we love an experienced, proven guy, it's hard to get that experienced, proven guy to come here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And like, even on the defensive coaching staff, I know Shapiro would be good, and that other guy, the Giants relief, Martin, whatever his last name is. I was hoping one of those 2 would come here, but if not, at least take a stab at I know he was what I liked about when Rex was here, he brought over that Jim Leonard, undersized safety, but he overplayed his position with his brains, you know? I mean, and I'm sure, even though he has no experience, I'm sure that he would turn this defense around, even with the no names that we had. I mean, he would make the adjustments at the times they needed during the game. I mean, it was just like you and Greenby and all you guys were watching it. We were all tortured by this. It was like horrendous. And the saddest thing, and that's my knock against Glenn, because he was supposed to be a defensive coach. He was even a very good cornerback, and it all went to hell. Not even an interception. I mean, this is like a criminal offense. I mean, really, I don't even know how this could possibly happen from somebody that was as good at the position, and not one of his cornerbacks could get a pick. And the saddest part about it was seeing the one ball hawk that we had. He was only part-time. He left, man, I forget his name, left from last year. They didn't even resign him. The Eccles.
Whitehead. Oh, Eccles. Yeah.
Well, Ashton Davis and Brandon Eccles were the only two players we've had in the last 5 years that would get turnovers.
Right, and they just let the little talent they have just slip away, and they bring in the. I mean, I don't, you know. I'm sorry to sound so negative, but I don't see no hope for Glenn. I think he's sort of hopeless. Do you guys actually believe that that he can turn it around? Or,
Well,
I mean, what that's my question to you. It's easy to point the finger and say you suck because it's the truth, but is there any chance of an improvement? That's my concern. I mean, is there anything
Tony,
that he could do better?
Tony, that's a great question. Honestly, I think I'm in the vast minority when I say that I was willing to give him a second year. There was some stuff that I didn't like, but I do think that I think he grew as the season went on. However, I don't like that he played Fields as long as he did. That bothered me because it reminded me of Saleh playing Zach Wilson way too long. But at the same time, I think he wants to be a CEO, and that can work. It's just everyone under him has to do way better than they did this year. I think that a lot of his staff let him down, and we're going to have spectacular hirings this spring. Like literally now, we got to start hiring good ass people. If he doesn't have a good hiring cycle, though, he may not see Halloween. So, hey, if he wants to be CEO, that's fine, but he has to do a better job this time of year than he did 1 year ago, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he needs coaches to make him look good because he needs all the help at looking good as possible, you know? All right, thanks a lot, fellas. You have a blessed night. All right? Bye-bye.
Tony, you're the man. You're the man, Tony.
Bless you, Tony. Have a good night, brother.
God bless.
All right. See ya. What a guy. First time caller. I've seen him on other shows and I've seen him in the chat for, it feels like years. But yeah, man, Tony Alexio calling in to Chaos in the Zone. Hey man, you got Swamp Ranger to call in here. You got Tony Alexio. Who's next, man?
Well, I mean, I know one guy who loves to call in, but it's not because of me. He loves to call in any show that'll take him.
Hey. Yeah,
what up?
What up, Dano?
¿Cómo está?
What up, brother?
Real good. I'm on the Drew Allar. I've been on that for a while with him. He didn't have shit when he was over there other than Tyler Warren. And even that line was bad, bro. Like, but I can't take him like on the third, right? I would want him where they're saying he's projected fourth or fifth. And if that's a project, cool. But the medical on him is going to be key. And he already said, I believe, that he is going to be at the combine. So that'll be intriguing on that. But I remember Tony, the GM, when he had that real big video that you guys had on Drew Allar. And it's up because that dude has a cannon of an arm, man. So it'd be intriguing, right? But we'll see. Like I'm still on the board of wanting to do the whole Redskins scenario all over again. RG3, Kirk Cousins type of stuff, right? I mean, shit, get two quarterbacks because we also need low key. We do need a backup quarterback as well, and it's not being talked about as much. So if Dante Moore is there or whatever. Look, I'm a Moore dude, man. Even though he got his ass whooped against Indiana, right? That Indiana defense was nasty, bro. They were blanketing all of his receivers, even his tight end Sadiq and the other tight end that does not get talked about as much on Oregon as well. They were just like on him, bro. And he was going through all of his progressions. And I was like, damn, man, this kid is taking an ass whooping, but he's still out there trying to sling it, man. And the
Dude,
balls every single time did not go his way. When those fumbles were happening to Mendoza, right, it was going to the other squad. I mean, he's going right back to him. But for freaking Moore, it was going to Indiana each and every time.
fun fact. Dante Moore, everybody gives Mendoza credit. He's going to be a joy for interviewing. Dante Moore, if he comes out, he will be as well. This kid not only has been spectacular at times, he's also, his freshman year in college, man, his mom got breast cancer and he dealt with that, man. He spoke several times about it, but then this past year, literally 3 months ago, his mom suffered a sudden stroke as well.
Yep.
So like I wonder, does some of this play a part in him wanting to attend the draft as soon as possible? Maybe. But also, like, he's had adversity, he struggles through it. Also, every time he gets adversity like he did on Friday night, man, he doesn't crumble. I think he has a good head on his shoulders. He just doesn't look as good because he's perched up next to Mendoza, man, which is just, he's a robot. But yeah, does maybe his mom having a sudden stroke 3 months ago says, "Hey, I want to go to the draft because I want my mom to be there, and I want her to see me be drafted." You never know, man.
Yeah, and again, and that's why I asked the question. Like, you tend to see a lot of quarterbacks that come out of the NFL. Now, I'm not talking about running quarterbacks because I don't consider Moore, I don't consider Simpson those just straight running quarterbacks, right? I mean, Simpson was probably the only quarterback out of mostly everybody that's coming out that would, be off center constantly, right? Other than everybody else was always shotgun, shotgun, shotgun. I mean, that's one of the things that worries me about Mendoza. He was always shotgun. But I don't know, man. Like, that's why I asked. Like, is it weird that you have a player that yes hasn't played a very long time, but if you could get the right coaches and a quarterback coach, because let's be honest, man, the New York Jets, we were supposed to have a quarterback coach, and that dude took a bicycle ride and died. Like, weird shit like that happens to this organization, and it's not really talked about, right? You get a guy in like Mike LaFleur or whatever, and look what he's doing over there. Now they're talking about he's potentially getting head coach like jobs and stuff like that, which is insane to me, right? But I mean, do you guys don't? I know I heard what you said and everything, chaos. But Dana, I wanted to ask you that, like, do you think that hinders not having that enough play? Because I see it as you haven't learned all the bad habits. Any quarterback that we would get, first and foremost, I want them to sit for the whole year, if possible, and learn, right? Not just throw them into the damn fire. But your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, it's tough because the less games they played, the more of a chance you're taking. I feel like I think I would rather have more footage and potential bad habits. That way I can evaluate, are those habits too bad to correct myself? Now, a guy with, 6 starts coming out, and yeah, that's cool because you can mold them. But at the same time, how big of a project is too much for your staff to take on? Like, Malik Willis, man, he's thrown 150 passes in pros.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna give him 30 million like you gave Fields? I don't know, man. Because there's a line, is what I'm trying to say. There is a line. You don't want him to have 50 starts and be doing shit wrong, and then it's like But at the same time, you don't want him to have 15 either. It's tough, but I do like Chaos. I think is probably going to answer next. I think I would prefer to have more footage, more film, and then I can look at the bad habits that may or may not be there, and then determine how easy it will be to guide them guys where I need them to be. What do you think, Chaos?
Well, I think if you use a day one pick on a quarterback, like it's not. I mean, it's very unlikely to happen. Like if you took Dante Moore from let's say he came out and you took him, right? You don't have to play him this year. You don't have to play him the first year. You bring in a veteran, you play the veteran. Maybe you bring him at the ends. You can do that plan, right? But understand this: if you took Drew Aller, like you're saying, let's say you got him at 45, right? Let's say the Jets did it. If you don't play him at all and he doesn't see the field, you still have to take a quarterback next year because you didn't give yourself a chance. Because you will be lynched if you take Drew Aller at 45. Let's say you're throwing a dart, right? You're taking a shot. You're taking a swing. He used to be ranked really hard. He had some bad games. Whatever your philosophy is, you take Drew Aller, you got to put him on the field and see if he's the guy because you can't have a hack and shit repeat. You can't pass on a quarterback in 27 for a guy you haven't seen play, who you took at 45, who got hurt in his last year of college and fell, off a cliff before he got hurt, right? He fell off a cliff, right? So all I'm saying is, if you like Drew Aller and you're happy we take him at 45, that's fine. I'm with you, bro. But we have to play him. Otherwise, we have to still take a quarterback in 27. You can't not do that.
We do the whole Redskins scenario.
The what?
You get a quarterback, right, and you're Dante Moore. Then you get another quarterback, and you're Drew Aller, right? And you still get yourself a vet. I mean, look what the Giants did.
Well, no, that's fine. You want an insurance policy.
Correct.
You take Dante Moore and you want to take Drew Aller's an insurance policy, that's fine. I'm just saying, if Dante Moore doesn't come out and we use a second-round pick on Drew Aller, right? 80% of the fan base is going to be irate. But you and me will not be irate.
Correct.
What I'm saying is I have to see this kid play. Because if he doesn't play, how do I know what to do in 27? I'm going to really roll the dice and not take a quarterback in 27 on a guy.
Fuck that. You take one anyway, man.
Right. We have to play him. The whole point the whole point of playing him would be to see if we struck gold. Because if we play him and he looks really good, it's like, holy shit, we don't have to take a freaking quarterback in 27. But if we don't play him at all, you're right. We're going to have to take a guy. And then we still have to draft a guy in 27 is what I'm saying.
I think I would be okay spending a pick that's not a first on Aller, even if it meant he wouldn't play a single snap for us. And then we would go and take another in 2027. I think I'd be fine with that. Because all that would tell me is then you got Aller in Arch Manning or Aller in who the fuck ever. They're going into camp in 2027. One of them is QB1. One of them is QB2. I don't care. I don't need to see December football from Aller this year because my mind's made up. I'm taking one in 2027 anyway.
Right. If you take it anyway, then you sit him. And by the way, Infrared, I'm not saying again. He's just either you're trying to provoke me or you're really being annoying, because I didn't say we should take Aller at 45. I said if we took Aller at 45, replace Aller with Sawyer Robertson, replace it with Chambly, replace it with any name you want. What I'm saying is, if you take a quarterback at 45. And you don't play them, you have to take a quarterback in 2027. That's my point.
You do.
If you have to. If you play them, there's a chance that you don't have to if they flash enough to show you that you found your guy. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, I don't even know, man. If you take Dante Moore second overall, I think I still might take a quarterback in 2027 because, like Johnny's saying, you're Washington, man. If you got RG3, still take Kirk. You know what? We are so damned if we do, damned if we don't. Double up, man. And what does it amount to? It amounts to Quinnen Williams being traded for your 2027 QB1 and QB2, and that's a deal I'm willing to make.
Wait a second. If you took Dante Moore, right? Let's say you don't start him. It's week 12. We suck. You put in Dante Moore. He flashes and looks great. And he looks great. You're going to draft a quarterback in 27?
I mean, honestly, probably not.
Right. I'm saying is we just used Brady freaking Cook for 5 or 6 games. You're telling me if we stink next year, which we probably will, we all know we're going to stink. We're not going to be in the playoff race, and you drafted Dante Moore, and we stink. You're not going to audition him?
Well, here's the thing. What if you have Dante Moore in tow? We are so bad because you don't play him till December. We're so bad that we have the number 1 pick. You're going to walk away from Arch Manning?
No. I think there are certain guys that are beyond logic. I think
there we go.
Once in a lifetime opportunities, once in a generation time, assuming Arch has the year I think he's going to have. The way he's projecting, I think he's going to come out and he's going to light it up. He's going to light the college football up like a pinball machine because you saw him get better every week, right? We all saw it. He was looking amazing by the last few games there. Like he's just getting better and better. So if Arch Manning came in there, I think there's a lot of teams that would take him that have a quarterback already if they could take him. And I think it's the right thing to do. I think that like people have got to learn about how important quarterback is. I don't care if you have a good quarterback. Unless you have an elite quarterback, unless you have the guy, you take Arch Manning. I don't care.
Until we see a Manning bust, I don't believe that it can happen. So, yes. Johnny, you wanted to speak. Go ahead, brother.
Like, I'll tell you this. Even if the Manning situation can look at what Peyton Manning owns, he still owns for the most interceptions a rookie has ever thrown coming into his first year, right? And look what he's done. But anyways, one of the things that I wanted to ask you guys, and this is for you, Chaos, out of all the quarterbacks that are coming out that are being like coveted as the top QBs, Ty Simpson is one of the only quarterbacks that in Alabama was able to actually call his own audibles and be able to call his own actual calls on the line itself. How much of that matters, right? And I'm talking about the IQ, because one of the biggest things is Mendoza is IQ, but Signetti wasn't letting him audible on the line, wasn't letting him like really call his own calls. Does that stuff matter? Because if Ty Simpson falls and he's later on, and then we're talking about trading out of number 2, but I know the next question is going to be like, well, who's going to jump up to get number 2? Does that matter?
If you believe in your system as an NFL coaching staff, like in personnel department, if you believe in your system that those attributes, what he did in college, calling those audibles and doing that, and that you believe he did it well, like if you look at the film and say, wow, that was the right move, and you believe that fits your system well, or you're going to build a system that will accentuate that ability, that IQ, and utilize that IQ, then absolutely it matters. There are some systems in the NFL that are very, controlled, where they don't do the quarter like Denver, right? Peyton calls every play. Every play is designed exactly the way he wants it. I don't know if that attribute is going to be as valuable, but I would say as a GM, I don't know how long any coach is going to be around. They might retire. They might, so it's always going to matter to some extent, but I think that sometimes it will matter more than other times based on the situation. So I think there are situations where it will matter a lot. And then there are situations where in the moment it won't matter in this system, but systems come and go, right? So So it's going to matter to some extent, even if it doesn't matter in the beginning under this coach. If that coach leaves and you get a new coach and a new system, it might matter that he has that ability to call audibles and read defenses. And so I would say overall, my answer is yes. That's a great attribute. That's something on his resume that matters. That should be considered when you're looking at Ty Simpson.
Exactly. And then my last thing, this report that's coming out over Mendoza from an ex-scout that was on what's his name's podcast that was talking about, he has friends, he was a scout himself, that have a 4th round comp pick on Mendoza. Do you take any, does that matter, or is that all just for clickbait at that? I mean, don't get me wrong, because I do like Mendoza and I like, what he has. I just know that we're not going to be able to get him, right?
Yeah, and Johnny, what you're talking about, I think, is someone had a 4th round grade on him, right?
Correct.
Chaos, I have a take, but go ahead. Do you want to take this one first? What do you think of one singular scout or someone confidant? I don't know. Having a 4th round grade on Mendoza, does that impact his stock?
No, I mean, I don't think it impacts his stock at all. I mean, we all watched the game the other day. You see the throws he's making. Like you can't say, oh, that's because he has this or that. I watched him throw passes to well-covered receivers and put the ball perfectly placed where the ball had to be put. And he got rid of the ball. And he got rid of the ball in under 2 seconds. Like, so as far as like not having all day, but like quick decision, decisiveness. I mean, one scout? No, I'm gonna listen to my personnel department. Like if I'm a GM, I'm listening to my personnel department that I trusted and hired. And if a lot of them are saying that and they're saying I'm gonna say, show me the flaws, and I'm gonna listen to them. And yes, it'll affect me. But one scout said that doesn't change my opinion at all.
Well,
I could find one scout for any quarterback that's ever come out of college. You can always find at least one scout that didn't like that quarterback.
And then my last thing, and I'm done. AJ Brown is being talked. Now, I do not want AJ Brown, but it's a conversation because you cannot say that he's not talented. And if you got more weapons and he's not going to go ahead and cost you a lot, because if he's cut from over there and you could get him in one of those deals where it's like, yo, we'll give you $2 million or some crazy stuff like that. Would you take a swing at that? Because I would be scared for him to go to like New England and chilling with Diggs and all that. Could you imagine? Right? And the same could be said for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is talking about he's probably going to be cut from the Falcons, still getting paid for them. Maybe that's your vet bridge quarterback. But I give you guys those two things. Chaos, I'm hyped to have you. Can't wait. Dano, dude, it's always a pleasure. I love when both of you guys are on because the content is great. So but your guys' thoughts on those two scenarios, those two individuals. Appreciate you, boy.
Johnny, killer shirt, man. Killer shirt.
Nirvana, baby. You know that, man. On the bridge. Let's go.
Hey, later, brother.
Love that kid.
Yes, sir. He is one of one. I was AJ Brown. AJ Brown. I was just actually looking up his contract, man, and I don't know exactly how it works out if he's traded. But dude, a while back I looked up Jalen Hurts and checked his out. Man, he had like 90 million void or some shit after he's done playing for Philly. Then I look up AJ Brown just now. 53 million void in 2030. How does that play into a potential acquisition of him? And are you even interested anyway?
I would be interested in him if we were a Super Bowl contender and needed that as the icing on the cake. Like when the Rams brought in Odell Beckham, right? Like that, it would be that scenario. It would be if I believed we were an AJ Brown away from winning the Super Bowl, go for it. Knock yourself out, right? Buffalo Bills, man. What a great move, right? If you could swing that, can you imagine how dangerous they would be if, for 1 year next year, because Allen doesn't have great wide receivers, right? Like that kind of situation where we are as a team. Like for where we are right now, the New York Jets, he makes no sense for us. Not with that, unless it was $2 million. I know Johnny Boy asked in the scenario of, which is just unfortunately isn't the case. I mean, if he came here and said he's going to cost us $2 million and that's it, and we just get him, why not? He'll attract some fans. But that's not reality. Reality is
Nah.
the only way you could take him in football is you'd have to take that cap hit. You'd have to take all that money. And he's not going to be around to help this football team when we are actually competitors.
Facts. And I'm so tired, dude. I'm tired of people bailing out Howie Roseman, man. He signed all these backloaded deals. Hurts, AJ Brown, Bryce Huff. Like, look at his dead money that Philly has. Like, dude, let them eat that shit, man. I am tired of just throwing them a lifeline and then being screwed ourselves. No, man. I'm good on AJ Brown. I'm good on everybody over in Philly. They can keep them all. You're right, man. He's not going to be here when it matters. That's a final piece, or maybe not even a final piece. How about a piece after we have a quarterback? Is that a year from now? Okay, I'm in the market for a receiver then. It doesn't have to be a championship caliber roster. It just has to be someone I think can help my young QB develop. Then I'm interested. But I'm not quite interested when there's 50 million dead on the back end of the deal. And I don't know exactly how that would work out. If they're paying it, if I'm paying it, if we're splitting it. Like, dude, let's just draft one. Let's draft someone higher than we drafted Arian Smith, please. Let's draft one on day 1 or 2. We all wanted to last year. We didn't. And we were all mad. And then we were like, who's Arian Smith? And then look, who is Arian Smith, man?
No, there's no way the Eagles would trade him with an agreement that they have to eat any of that money. They never would, because they'll find some team like Buffalo or New England that will take it and eat it because it could make them a Super Bowl team.
Yep. A desperate contender is where he'll go. I mean, I get the dot connecting though to New England because Vrabel drafted him, I believe. Maybe he does go to New England, but they also have Diggs. Would you want Diggs and AJ Brown?
I don't know what Diggs' status is going to be, bro. I mean, like he was arrested,
Fair.
and like it wasn't just like, oh, he hit his wife. He was like, this was he strangled the chef. But again, and I have a feeling, because I don't like to go into cases I don't know the facts of, and everyone's saying innocent until proven guilty. But I'm imagining if he's guilty and he really tried to choke her, there's going to be marks. And if there's
there is. I mean, she has pictures that came out and shit already.
Right. If she has real marks on her neck, dude, they're going to go for attempted murder possibly, or real like serious felony assault. Like that's like real deal stuff. Like, I don't know if I don't know if Vrabel's holding on to him. Like, I think they're going to cut him loose, man.
Clancy's right. That would be some wide receiver room, Diggs and AJ Brown with old Drake May. Dude, Chaos, I think we covered everything tonight, man. We covered, we didn't cover the tank talk, but we were able to hit that last week, I should say. Johnny Boy's chiming in. He would love Surratt at pick 33. I'm down. But dude, we're gonna have time to talk about all this. But I do think we talked a good portion of it tonight. We talked Mendoza, we talked Moore, we talked coaching staff, we talked to callers. So I ask you in this final moment or two, is there anything that you think we didn't hit, or anything you want to promote, or you got the floor, brother.
Wednesday, 3 p.m. Matt O'Leary, Jeremy Cruvette, JetsChaos on the Matt O'Leary channel. Next week, Sunday, 7 p.m. Chaos in the Zone. Also, if you go to JetsChaos, I've been releasing videos. I might be releasing one every day from now on. A lot of you have already been supporting them and watching them and liking them and commenting on them. And I truly, truly appreciate the support. So just keep looking for them. And sometimes the algorithm doesn't help you. It doesn't push it out there. So if you guys want to look it up tomorrow and find it in case it's not popping up into your feed, and actively look at the video and go watch it, that would be greatly appreciated.
Agreed. I agree. And not only do I watch your videos, Chaos, even if I have nothing to say, I comment on them because I know that helps the algorithm, man. It does.
I noticed that you do that. I noticed.
So if you are watching this and you want us to keep doing this, just throw a comment after the show's over and say, hey, hi. That's all you got to say. Because one comment equals whatever, man. 10 likes. Let's just say that. Johnny Boy says, what about Kirk Cousins? Brother, I am down for any veteran quarterback who is cut from their roster that's going to cost us under $2 million to sign because they're getting so much paid from their prior team. And that includes Kyler, Dak, Tua, Kirk Cousins. Anyone we can get on a cheap deal, gimme, because I need a higher floor than we've had, man. Floor is where I'm looking in 2026. I want to use my last moment here to plug a channel as well, Jeremy.
Yeah.
The channel that I want to plug. It's called Brooklyn Brothers Food Review on YouTube. And I don't eat a single thing in this household until I watch that channel and make sure it's safe to eat. So if you're watching this now, check out Brooklyn Brothers Food Review on YouTube. Throw them a like, throw them a sub, throw them a comment on every video you see drop.
I love it. I love it.
Anything else? You know what? I think that's it, Jeremy. Have a good night, brother. I will see you next Sunday. And it's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern, not 7 p.m. Pacific.
I'm about to find me.
Boom.
You know, I'm convinced we're the most cursed team in professional sports.
You guys are bad.
You know, I've been saying this hot take for a long time, and I'm sticking to it. My hot take is that Will McDonald's going to hit 15 sacks.
No member of the New York Jets' Week 1 offensive line will miss a game all year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! So get ready to rumble!